Cutting out small expenses like daily coffee is not enough to achieve major financial goals, and it's important to learn how money works and focus on bigger changes to secure your financial future. What do you think of your coffee spending will affect your financial future? Leave your comments down below. Investing in a Roth IRA instead of buying daily coffee can lead to over $1 million in 40 years, but small purchases like coffee are not always the cause of financial struggles. Spending money on daily coffee is a waste when investing that money in a Roth IRA could result in over $1 million in 40 years, and blaming small purchases like coffee for financial struggles is not always accurate. Daily Starbucks coffee is not significantly harming your finances despite common misconceptions and negative opinions. Cutting out daily coffee expenses can improve personal finances, while investing for 40 years with a 10% return may yield almost $1 million but lower returns, and average investor returns should be considered. Cutting out a daily coffee expense can be an effective and easily actionable strategy for improving personal finances, as it is a common luxury expense for many people. Investing for 40 years with a 10% return may yield almost $1 million, but it's important to consider the likelihood of lower returns and the fact that the average investor typically makes less than half of these returns. Investing the money you spend on daily coffee in an equity portfolio can yield around $140,000, but it's not enough for retirement, so learn how money works to secure your financial future. Giving up daily coffee and investing the money in an equity portfolio may yield around $140,000 after taxes, fees, inflation, and realistic portfolio management, but it's not enough to fund anyone's retirement. Learn how money works to secure your financial future and avoid struggling to make a down payment on a basic home in 40 years' time. Cutting out minor expenses like coffee is no longer enough to achieve major financial goals due to rising costs of housing, education, and retirement. Blaming minor expenses like coffee for financial troubles is easy, but cutting them out is no longer enough to achieve major financial goals due to the rising costs of housing, education, and retirement. High-earning millennials struggle to make ends meet due to student debt, high cost of living, and pressure to maintain a lavish lifestyle. High-earning individuals, including millennials, are living paycheck to paycheck due to student debt, high cost of living in cities with high-paying jobs, and lifestyle inflation. Maintaining a high-end lifestyle can be involuntary due to the pressure of keeping up appearances with colleagues who earn similar salaries. Investment banking culture values lifestyle and networking, while influencers promote cutting out coffee as a sales tactic, but personal finance advice against daily Starbucks may not be effective. Investment banking culture expects employees to have a certain lifestyle and heavily invest in networking, while influencers use the idea of cutting out coffee as a sales tool. Personal finance personalities often criticize buying a daily cup of Starbucks, but this advice may not be helpful and could even set people up for failure. Small daily habit changes may not lead to financial success, as building wealth on $50,000 a year is no longer possible, and earning $250,000 a year may not provide a luxurious life, but it's important to avoid willpower fatigue and focus on bigger changes. Small changes in daily habits can lead to willpower fatigue and distract from making bigger, more rewarding changes, such as increasing income through education or career changes. Building wealth on $50,000 a year is no longer possible, and the income level required for financial success could be as high as $100,000 a year depending on location, with some crucial jobs falling below this level. Earning $250,000 a year may provide a comfortable life, but not a luxurious one, especially in high cost of living areas, and it's important to realize that you can't keep up with everyone around you and that you will be working forever.
The biggest financial asset that you have going for you by miles is the value of your own earning power over the years. So that's really what you should focus on.
Warren, how would you define true success?
Well, I've said many times that if you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you, you're a success. I've never seen anybody that reaches that age. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody that's in extreme poverty or pain or something, but I've never seen anybody that, if they have a lot of people that love them, that is other than happy. And I've seen some very, very wealthy people that they give testimonial dinners to and name schools after and everything. Nobody loves him. You know. Their own kids would say, he's in the attic, you know. They never came.
What are, say, 3 pieces of advice you would give to people who are looking to succeed in business?
Well, by far the best investment you can make is in yourself. I mean, for example, communication skills. I tell the students that come that they're going to graduate schools and business, and they're learning all these complicated formulas and all that. If they just learn to communicate better, both in writing and in person, they increase their value at least 50%. You know, I mean, if you can't communicate, somebody says, you know, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. Nothing happens, you know, basically. And you have to be able to get forth your ideas, and that's relatively easy. I did it myself with the Dale Carnegie course. Some people wish I'd taken a shorter course now in terms of my talking later on, but it's just hugely important. And if you invest in yourself, nobody can take it away from you. I mean, and the second thing, which I'll get a certain criticism for not living it, but I do tell those students, you know, that if I gave you a car and it'd be the only car you get in the rest of your life, you take care of it like you can't believe. Any scratch, you'd fix that moment. You read the owner's manual, you keep a garage, and do all these things, and you get exactly one mind and one body in this world. And you can't start taking care of it when you're 50. By that time, you'll have rusted out if you haven't done anything. So you should really make sure that you just remember that you just got one mind and body to get through life with and to do the most with it.
What about life advice?
Well, life advice is, you know, the most important thing, aside from the things I've talked about already, is really who you associate with. You want to associate with people that are better than you are. I mean, basically, you'll go in the direction of the people that you associate with, and you want to have the right heroes. You want people, if you want to emulate somebody, you better pick very carefully who you want to emulate.
So how did you figure out, a lot of people look at your life and, you know, would want to emulate what you've done. Is that something that people can do, look at someone like yourself and see your path? I mean, you're in real estate law, then investing. What do you even consider yourself? A businessman? How would you describe what you do?
Well, I don't consider myself I think my way of thinking will work for anybody, of trying to be very rational and disciplined. So I think that much. But to flit around to various careers and go into the other fellow's professional territory and try and outdo him and do all kinds of things like that, I think will not work for most people. And so I always I'm always being visited by young men who say, I'm practicing law and I don't like it, and I'd rather be a billionaire. How can I do it? And I tell them, well, I'll tell you a story. A young man goes to see Mozart. He says, Mozart, I want to start composing symphonies. And Mozart said, how old are you? And the guy says, 22. And he says, you're too young to do symphonies. And the guy says, yes, but you were 10 years old when you were composing symphonies. And Mozart says, yes, but I wasn't running around asking other people how to do it.
Right.
So I think this flitting around business is something not everybody should try.
Yeah, I think
if I tried it again, it might not have worked as well.
You said just figure out
I
how
may
to
have
do
been
something
quite
and do
lucky.
it. Why were you were lucky?
Yeah, I think I had some luck, yes.
Well, but I think there's more to it than that. I mean, where were you looking?
Yes, the combination of luck and skill. That's what all good records are.
Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and found it useful. Don't forget to comment on the tips you find to be the most useful. Having stated that, we will see you in the future video.